This video will give you a brief history of the State Partnership Program and how it supports the National Defense Strategy. The State Partnership Program is a joint Department of Defense security cooperation program managed by the National Guard Bureau, executed by the Geographic Combatant Commands, and sourced by the National Guards of the United States and its territories. SPP links a state's National Guard with a partner nation's military, security forces, and disaster response organizations in a cooperative, mutually beneficial relationship. In short, SPP is an innovative, cost-effective, flexible, small footprint program that supports combatant commands, U.S. embassies, and partner nation objectives, builds defense capability and capacity, and fosters enduring personal and institutional relationships. The role of the Action Officer. Congratulations on your selection as an SPP Action Officer. As an AO, you are the leader for your respective engagement and team. Tasks as AO include creating objectives, hosting partner nations within the state of Colorado, getting your team prepared to travel OCONUS, and completing after-action reports. The SPP office, along with your in-country bilateral affairs officer, will work directly with you before, during, and after your engagement. We appreciate your willingness to serve in this crucial role and hope you find it a very worthwhile endeavor. Requirements and do-outs. Prior to your engagement, you want to think about what objectives you are trying to accomplish with your line of effort and partner nation. Accomplishing those objectives may include group discussions, hands-on time with equipment, best practices and lessons learned, etc. Always think how you can continue the partnership and move the line of effort forward. You will want to work with the assigned partner nation representative to develop an itinerary that meets both countries' stated objectives. You will have an LOE advocate that will work to shape the engagement and provide more depth and meaning. This long-term glide path will serve as your LOE roadmap and help meet the TAG strategic campaign plan, which is to develop a comprehensive 5-year SPP strategy that directly contributes to personnel and training readiness. After your engagement, you will need to complete a detailed after-action report. The AAR should encompass a brief description of the event, areas of success, areas for improvement, your recommendations for future engagements, and a listing of all key participants involved. Upon completion, please submit your AAR to the SPP office for review. Storyboard. Think of the storyboard as a snapshot highlighting your event. The storyboard should capture the 5 W's, ConOps, and your overall impressions. Also, attach a few great photos from the engagement. SPP Office Coordination. As an AO, you have authority to work directly with the SPP office. Please reach out early and often with any questions or issues that arise. Ahead of your engagement, the SPP office will coordinate an objective brief with the Colorado National Guard Director of Joint Staff, a meeting with your SPP country's BAO, and any required COVID-19 pre-departure testing. Hosting in Colorado. There are several key milestones, 90, 45, 15, and 3 days out. Use the SPP AO checklist as a step-by-step guide to make sure you are completing tasks within the appropriate time frame. You and your partner AO will be required to stay in lodging along with your partner delegation, as well as provide transportation to and from activities and events. Remember, this may be their first time in the U.S., and they will rely heavily on you for their comfort and well-being. Note that when hosting in Colorado, there is only funding for the AOs. However, feel free to reach out to your team members and see if there are any activities they would like to participate in on their own time. When you are 90 days out, verify your government travel card is active and your defense travel system profile is up to date. Start rough planning activities and events. How much lead time will you need to coordinate these? At 45 days out, refer to the AO checklist on processing your orders for the engagement and complete any foreign visit requests. Run any prepared briefs through the Foreign Disclosure Officer. Having copies of the brief ran through a translator app can help members who are less fluent in English. You'll also want to reserve a block of hotel rooms for you and your delegation. Be sure to update it once you have firm names. Reserve transportation with the Joint Force Headquarters GSA Motor Pool in G4 and be sure to have enough space for all passengers and their luggage. It's also a good idea to reach out to the Denver Police Department liaison officer for arrival escort. Be sure to send your draft agenda to the SPP office. When you are 15 days out, ensure all orders have been cut. Make sure you have the most current contact information for the delegation lead. You'll also need to complete the final agenda and pass it on to the SPP office. This is also the time you will be briefing the Director of Joint Staff regarding your objectives plan, glide path, and itinerary. At just 72 hours before the arrival of your foreign partners, ensure you have received the final travel itinerary. If not, reach out to the SPP office or BAO. Tips for building an agenda. Always plan for and build in extra time. Translations, transportation delays, bathroom breaks, etc. all take extra time. If you schedule too many events, you risk burning out the already jet-lagged team. Think about what you want them to learn and what can we learn from them. Have flexibility in mind. What if bad weather hits or someone gets sick? You may think going on a hike in Colorado with your partners would be awesome, but they may want to shop, eat, or just rest. Remember to allow for altitude acclimation and reinforce constant hydration. Get team members involved wherever and whenever possible. As stated earlier, team members are not required to participate in Colorado engagements. That said, many will still want to have some involvement in the events. Query the team for topics or events they may like to lead. Make sure they receive permission from their supervisor and understand that no funding is available for them. Communicating with the BAO and Military Partnership Representative. At a minimum, update your BAO after you have picked up your delegation at the airport, any unplanned deviations from the agenda, and at the conclusion of the engagement. Check with your BAO if they want additional updates and the best method to communicate with them. Lodging and transportation considerations. Reference the AO checklist for recommendations on lodging. Try to choose a central location based on activities outlined in your agenda. Depending on the event, the delegation may come with cash only for their lodging, food, and activities. In this case, it is highly recommended to collect the lodging costs up front and check to see if the hotel will hold the funds until checking out. The last thing you want is for the team to spend too much cash during the week and come up short upon departure. Make sound judgment when driving based on road conditions, parking, and always allow for extra time. Religious and cultural considerations. A good idea when developing your agenda is reaching out to the partner country representative ahead of time regarding any religious accommodations that might be needed. This will allow you to plan for prayer times or address specific dietary concerns. Gift exchange. The gift exchange is a staple of SPP and a great chance to show your partner nation the same hospitality they will show you when you travel OCONUS. Gifts should be thoughtful but not expensive. Coins, patches, stickers, Colorado branded items, candy, etc. all go a long way to making the event memorable. Hosted dinner. The hosted dinner is normally toward the end of the engagement and signifies a culmination and memorable send-off. Keep in mind costs and dietary concerns when selecting a location. Save receipts and submit to the Colorado National Guard Legacy Foundation for reimbursement. Handling the unexpected. Expect your agenda to get a little off track at times. When in doubt, contact the SPP office and BAO for guidance. In case of emergency, always call 911 or base security first, then notify SPP office and BAO. After action reports. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to write down positive interactions and discussions, as well as ideas for improvement. This can go a long way when it comes to writing your final after-action report. Shortly after the engagement is over, compile all your data while it is still fresh in your mind. These tips should make your AAR and storyboard easier to accomplish and ultimately more impactful. Traveling OCONUS. Note there are key milestones 90, 60, 45, 30, 15, and 3 days out. 90 days. By now, you should have all your team members identified. If you have not been informed of your full team, reach out to the SPP office. Once all are identified, let the SPP office know right away if anyone must drop out. Notify medical of all members who will be traveling and the dates of travel. Take note of any med requirements and let your team know what they need to accomplish. Check with your team to ensure they are all in possession of a current blue tourist passport and that it has at least 6 months left beyond the engagement before expiration. If not, advise to start the issuance or renewal process immediately. The SPP office will reimburse a regular passport fee, however, they will not cover the costs for the passport to be expedited. Check that everyone's government travel card has not expired, is still active, and has a $7,500 limit. Also, it's a good idea to have them check with their program manager and request that they are allowed to withdraw up to $350 a day. Pass the intake form on to all members so they can start working on required training and tasks. Set a no later than date for completion and routinely follow up. 60 days. Collect all intake forms and pass them on to the SPP office. This form is critical for country clearance processing. Work with the SPP office to set up pre-departure COVID testing if required. 45 days. Often a challenging piece, ensure your team receives their orders by starting the process early. While AGRs automatically convert to Title X and travel OCONUS on their order, DSG MDay and ADOS service members must receive orders to travel. Follow the AO checklist for current guidance. Create a DTS authorization that you can use as a template for the team members. Again, refer to the AO checklist for guidance. Ensure all members are on the same flight. If not, work with SATO outside of DTS to secure one flight. Once complete, ensure all team members have signed their DTS. Note, there may be delays in receipt of funding for SPP events. This is not something you can control, but it is crucial to have every member's DTS authorization signed and ready to go. When funding is approved, the SPP office will sign all authorizations. 30 days. Now is a great time to meet with your team. For most, this will be their first time traveling to your partner nation. You should set expectations regarding conduct, dress, communication methods, etc. They will look to you for guidance, and you should expect many questions to arise. Take note of any questions you can't answer and bring those to the next meeting or call with your BAO. 15 days. The SPP office will coordinate a virtual meeting with your BAO. This meeting will go over the agenda, current situation, rules, arrival and departure, and offer a chance to answer your remaining questions. Team members are invited to join if they are available, otherwise, backbrief them after the meeting. This is also the time you will be briefing the Director of Joint Staff regarding your objective plan, glide path, and itinerary. 3 days. It's critical at this point to verify all team members have ticketed flight reservations in DTS. If there are any issues, call SATO as soon as possible. Communicating with your team and team member changes. Strong communication is key when setting your team up for success. This is even more critical with the DSG MDay service members. Set deadlines for completion of tasks, calendar invites for required testing, or scheduled meetups. Instant message apps like Signal or WhatsApp are great tools for group messaging before and during the engagement. Ask your team from the start if there are any issues that would preclude them from the engagement dates or meeting travel requirements. The sooner the SPP office knows that a team member needs to drop off, the sooner they can source a replacement. Communicating with BAO and military partnership representative. Again, communication is vital to a successful engagement. Questions for your BAO may include proper attire to bring, COVID protocols, security situation, and how often they would like to be updated on the event. Your partnership rep is your POC before, during, and after the event. Think about including them in your team member group chats, any issues with the itinerary, and cultural sites to visit. DTS travel best practices. Identify any team members early who do not have a passport or if theirs will soon expire. Passport wait times are increasing, so have them working on that as soon as possible. DTS will cancel flights that are not fully approved 72 hours prior. Make sure everyone has signed authorizations with updated government travel card information on their profile. Have a printout of the DTS itinerary and carry it with you to the airport. If possible, minimize different air carriers on your trip. The more carriers you have, the more chance of some luggage not making it to your destination. Check with your cell phone service provider if international plans exist and any roaming charges they may have. Having use of your cell phone while abroad is very useful. Gift exchange. Expect to receive many gifts from the various bases and people you will visit. Don't be caught empty-handed. Designate a team member to always carry a few small gifts to present to people you'll encounter for each day of your engagement. As always, they should be inexpensive, but thoughtful. Representing your state and nation abroad. Remember, you and your team are representing Colorado, America, and the U.S. Armed Forces. This goes for both during military engagements and after hours during cultural visits. Take time to learn about their culture and try using a few words in their language. Refrain from engaging in heated political topics. A little goes a long way in continuing and strengthening the relationship. Handling the unexpected. Always have a list of phone numbers and contacts you can reach in the event of the unexpected. Print out this list and carry it with you throughout the engagement. Also, it's a good idea to have a few phrases in the local language handy to ask for help or get directions. Your BAO can assist you in these preparations. After Actions Reports. Taking a few minutes at the end of each day to write down positive interactions and discussions, plus ideas for improvement, can go a long way when it comes to writing your after-action report. Soon after the engagement, compile all your data while it's still fresh in your mind. These tips should make your AAR and storyboard easier to accomplish and ultimately more impactful. Be sure to visit the SPP Office Teams channel where you can download important documents, find references, ask questions, and more.